If we're really going to be honest about it, how often do we engage in not what would rise to the level of quote unquote harmful behavior, but certainly things that are not in our best care? Eating a little bit too much, not exercising enough, not sleeping well, engaging in behaviors or failing to engage in healthy behaviors. Now, I see this constantly with patients where it's not that they don't know what to do. It's not that they don't know that they should exercise, but if you really push them, they have a negative relationship with themselves that is preventing them from taking care of themselves. And I would say that the impact on length of life there and quality of life is much bigger than the deaths of despair, but it's much harder to quantify. And you're basically living without a sense of why, right? You're not, as Esther Perel put it to me, what is the purpose of living longer if you're unhappy? There is an exercise I have my patients do called the marginal decade exercise. So you write down on a piece of paper your age, so I'm 50, and you draw a line extending across the page and you tick off at 10-year increments, so 60, 70, 80, 90. And then I do the same exercise for my kids. So I have a 15-year-old girl, 9-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy, and I tick those out at the same 10-year increments. So 25, so the daughter 25, 35, 45, 55, et cetera, and they're lined up, okay? And then I start to imagine when they might have kids. So this is a little bit of guessing, but I start to put, grandkid 1, grandkid 2, grandkid 3, grandkid 4, okay. And then I go to what is the actuarial expectation of my life, which is, low to mid 80s. And I ask the question, what would another decade buy me? And on one level, it doesn't look that interesting, right? It's buying me the difference between being 83 and 93. But if that 10 years is at a reasonable high level of function, and let's be clear, it's not going to look like it looks now, but I define what that function is. I still want to be able to walk up a flight of stairs. I still want to be able to carry a bag of groceries. I still want to be able to lift my suitcase up. I look down and I see what a difference it is in terms of those relationships. It's a profound difference in the decade of that person's life and my ability to be a part of that life and for them to be a part of my life. And I say all of that because it's the why that matters a little bit here.
Right. Well, that might be part of the magic bullet in relationship to prevention is that, well, why you should eat junk food is obvious. It's immediately gratifying and delicious. So the why is a no-brainer. It's the same with abuse of drugs like cocaine. We don't have to explain why people abuse cocaine. We have to explain why all people don't abuse it 100% of the time, because it immediately activates the systems that mediate positive emotion. So that's a no-brainer. If you look at the alcohol cessation literature, what you find is quite a pronounced multi-decade set of conclusions that show that if you want to stop drinking, you need a reason. You need to find something to do that's better than drinking. And if you like alcohol, drinking's pretty good. It's a highly social activity. It's not that expensive. It's available constantly. It's an anxiolytic. It's a psychomotor stimulant for some people. It probably increases opiate response, so it's very rewarding. Well, the problem is that it ruins your life over a multi-decade period and blows your relationships to bits. But if you don't have a vision of yourself extending across that span of time, then why the hell should you care? And it might be the same on the exercise and nutrition front. It's like, you're not going to take care of yourself unless you know you have something useful to do. And I've been talking to people all over the world about taking responsibility, partly because if you take responsibility for other people, it improves your relationships. And if you have better relationships, well, you're much more resilient and you have much more of an opportunity for positive emotion. And so if you take responsibility, you have a long-term vision of yourself as well. And so maybe the psychologists and the medical doctors can get together and figure out how to ally the work on exercise and nutritional improvement with motivation and produce prevention strategies that people will actually follow, partly because they see a reason in following them. You need a reason to make sacrifice,
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think that's the key point here, and I think that's the point I'm trying to make with respect to emotional health, which is if you don't have this why, we're just not robots that can be programmed to do all those other things. We have to have a reason, and I think your examples are great ones. Virtually everything that is bad for your health feels much better in the moment. So to say no to that, you have to offset the hyperbolic discounting problem of delayed gratification, you must have something that is stronger than the immediate hedonic pleasure of either not exercising, eating the wrong thing, staying up too late. You pick whatever it is.